It's called Knock on the Door. In many a time, in many a land, with many a gun, in many a hand, they came by the night, they came by the day, came with their guns to take us away. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. One more. Back in the days of the Roman Empire, they died by the cross and they died by the fire. In the stone Colosseum, the crowd gave a roar, and it all began with a knock on the door. Just a knock on the door, knock on the door. Here they come to take one more. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. One more. The years went by and we reached modern times. The Nazis came with their Nazi war crimes. In the din of silence where freedom had drowned, 11 million people heard the same sound of a knock on the door. Knock on the door, here they come to take one more. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. One more. Now there's many new words and many new names. Uniforms have changed, but the knock is the same. The agents of ICE broadcast their raids. They're trying to make the people afraid of a knock on the door. Knock on the door, here they come to take one more. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. One more. Resist the goons of the strange orange clown from South Minneapolis to here in our town. Open your eyes, see what they do when they knock for your neighbor. They're knocking for you. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. With a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. One more. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Oh, gosh. So I love adapting old songs, as with that one, written in the 1960s by Phil Ochs. This one is a brand new song that I wrote. It's called Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink, where as we look at global events today, it is, for those of us in the anti-imperialist movement, so strange to see this level of incompetence and self-destruction and dissembling, that's going on with the U.S. empire these days. Doesn't mean that it's not a problem anymore. It's just really weird to see the internal contradictions. So I sometimes perform this song, actually physically wearing an Uncle Sam costume, but not tonight. It's called Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink. It's just, I like to say I got this transcript. There was a microphone in the room when Uncle Sam went to see his therapist, and this is what he said. So what brought me here, shrink, is I started to think that perhaps I've gone into decline. I almost forget when the sun never set on countries whose rules I define. My unrivaled power meant nations would cower and help my vast wealth to accrue. If one wasn't supine or they got out of line, well, I'd just take them out in a coup. But at least I still have the best nuclear warheads. Each one is on trigger alert. My hundreds of foreign bases are spread to maintain the control I exert. So doctor, help me. I can't understand why wielding this power feels pointless and bland. Even with all my arms, my wealth and grandeur, I still feel so insecure. So insecure, so insecure. Even in my grandeur, I feel so insecure. And be frank with me, please. I'm down on my knees. Your words come with weighty credentials. Why am I in this pain? Can you help me regain the status of being essential? It just makes me irate when erstwhile client states demand that I honor their borders. I feel anxious and sick. Check the diagnostic manual of mental disorders. Hey doctor, what's the assessment at which you've arrived? And where's it described in this text? Well, I'm paging up there right now in the DSM-5. Just tell me the section heading again. The military industrial complex. Wow, you found my complex. You found my complex. I'll now read from the text where you found my complex. Says the symptoms are fraudsters and hacks win the biggest contracts, building jet fighters and drones. Economies go down in the cities and towns once lenders start calling in loans. Doc, my global franchise runs on free enterprise. You're missing my problem's causation. Just help me to see all the threats facing me, like the meddling done by foreign nations. Or do you mean to imply that the very armed forces, key to the power I've known, empty me of my best resources and cause me to feel so alone? Feel so alone, feel so alone. Don't tell me you've known why I feel so alone. My consultants attested that you were the best, but my consultants attested that you were the best, but my consultants attested that you were the best, but I clearly can see you're a phony. I pay you too well to be left in this hell of the stress that comes with hegemony. This session has only made me feel more ill and thrown your prestige into doubt. You should have known I'm a shining city on a hill. We're done now and I'm walking out. Thank you so much. I'm excited to share that I'm working on an album project. It's long overdue for me, but what you're hearing tonight is a lot of the songs that are going to go on that album. I'm working with a producer in Hawaii, a wonderful guy named Chet Gardner, who's very good in the studio. And I can just send him tracks, and he can make all kinds of magic happen with them. So I'm really excited to put that out there to the world. You'll be hearing more about it. And this is a parody. Parodies so often are like about ha 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 funny. Sometimes a parody I like to think of differently. Like, okay, I'm going to do a parody of the Beach Boys, Kokomo. That's a song about escaping, going to the Caribbean, of all places, to escape, to have a comfortable respite from the topsy-turvy world of your everyday work life. Escape from it all. And I think with the issue of sea level rise, it's clear that might actually not be a great long-term plan. So it's called Melting Ancient Snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows, far from these catastrophes. There's glaciers formed of ancient snow that took 1,000,000 years to grow to be the size they are. Overlooked but grand, they're melting off the land. The water that drains to the sea raises where the ocean stands, and it's melting from the ancient snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The shoreline we used to know is under melted ancient snow. Bangladesh, the delta's in distress. Look out on the sea. There's a wrenching reality. Less ice loads the dice for even more calamity. As the runoff flows, oceans swell and storm surge grows. Each degree the surface warms, intensifies the superstorms that churn the melted ancient snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The shoreline we used to know is under melted ancient snow. Vietnam, there's salt in the Mekong. Everyone should know the seas rise from melted ancient snow. People need a place to go where they have shelter from all the rising melted ancient snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The shoreline we used to know is under melted ancient snow. I want to do a song by my friend Jim Page, wonderful songwriter from Seattle, Washington. Name of the song is Palestine. There's a lyric in the song called, it's in Arabic, it's Al-Nakba, and that refers to the events of 1948, where 750,000 Palestinians were forcefully expelled from their land by armed Zionist militias. They refer to those events as the catastrophe, Al-Nakba. But the song's called Palestine. Here we go. I'll tell you a story, I'll be quick as I can. The terrible news from the Holy Land. Pictures of children etched in my brain, covered in rubble and wails of pain. Jews and Arabs lived one and the same for 1,000 years, till the Zionists came. They came like a river, came like a flood. Al-Nakba was written on the wall in blood. In Palestine, in Palestine. There's talk about the settlers from far away. Talk about the money from the USA. The blast of bombs, the search for bread, killer drone hovering overhead. What do you do when they destroy your home and say your land is not your own? Do you dare to resist? Do you stand up with the gun in your fist? In Palestine, let me hear you. In Palestine, they talk about peace like it's a moral obligation, but there can't be peace under occupation. They talk about talks to the beat of the drum. Almost 80 years now, no justice done. Let's talk about who we endorse. Smug politicians who ride an iron horse. No wonder why it seems to be such an undemocratic version of democracy in Palestine. In Palestine. In Palestine. One more time. In Palestine. Let me tell you a story. I'll be quick as I can. This terrible news from the Holy Land. Thank you. Oh, yes. Let me get a sip here. Well, I want to thank Paul Shannon. This next song was actually written for a rally that Massachusetts Peace Action, which is one of the co-sponsors. Actually, Susan McLucas and Susan Mirsky and Paul Shannon were all part of organizing a number of demonstrations to protest the U.S. acts of war against the nation of Venezuela. So thank you for the inspiration, to write this. As a songwriter, it's always like, oh, there's an opportunity to speak to this thing. Like having constraints, in a way is such a wonderful thing for a songwriter. So much has actually happened since December, and I won't try to sum it all up. But I think where this song comes in is looking at, what's led up to January 3rd when the president of Venezuela was kidnapped by U.S. Special Forces in total breach of international law. It's a resource colony, as Eduardo Galeano spoke to it, the open veins of Latin America. This is how the colonial system has shaped our world. It's extracted oil, it's extracted all kinds of minerals, it's extracted labor. And the process continues through banks, through so many means. It's called the money they stole. Troops are banging at the door. Will they dare to start a war? Venezuela faces its gravest hour since Bolivar fought the Spanish power. Fishermen have been burned and drowned by orders of a man donning a crown, peddling sinister fentanyl lies, posting snuff films of the people who die. And if you wonder what's the empire's goal, just follow the money they stole. The assets have been seized by banks that act like thieves. Western leaders say they should decide how a sovereign country runs inside. When they lose sway, they cook up a scheme to make the economy scream. Washington claims it owns the oil in the open veins of Venezuela's soil. Here we go. And if you wonder what's the empire's goal, trained by foreign theft. The vampires blame the country's left and plot a coup to strip and steal the wealth of a nation, refusing to kneel. The people there are standing guard, 'cause Yankees act like it's their backyard. The U.S. fleet surrounds the shore where an empire met defeat before. And if you wonder what's the empire's goal, just follow the money. Just follow the money they stole. 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 The money they stole from children and their families. The money they stole, the money they stole, and put it in their banks. The money they stole, the money they stole, they took the Citgo stations. The money they stole, the money they stole, that once sustained the nation. The money they stole, the money they stole, the people will reclaim it. The money they stole, the money they stole, but first we have to name it. Just follow the money they stole. Thank you. All right, let's get this party started. That didn't come up with me as I was hoping it would. Thank you for that. I got a song here by Leonel Valanzuela. I don't actually know what country he's from, but I found his YouTube channel as I was writing that song about the money they stole. I was so, that song talks a little bit about Simón Bolívar, the liberator of Latin America. He was from Colombia, and Venezuela. Well, they weren't really called Colombia and Venezuela back then, but he did go to Bogota. They did call it Bogota back then. And he defeated the Spanish Empire. That was the empire that was defeated soundly by the resistance of Bolivar's forces. And what this next song says, it's called Alerta. I'm going to teach you the chorus actually while we're getting the music stand. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina. La espada de Bolívar por América Latina. La espada de Bolívar por América Latina. And in Spanish, what that means is the sword of Bolivar is marching through Latin America. Because Bolivar had a vision for the liberation of all of Latin America. And thank you for the technical help up here. So I'm not quite fluent in Spanish yet, but going to Nicaragua next month. It's a little opportunity to practice, I hope. I always say I can sing better than I can speak. But I'll teach you the melody for this song as well. And how many of you speak Spanish out there? I know there's a few of you. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And if anybody can help me find Leonel Valenzuela, I would really appreciate that. Alerta que ya viene caminando. Dicen que viene lleno de esperanza, que trae el corazón armado con la libertad, que viene decidido a la batalla. Here comes the chorus. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Alerta, 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 alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Alerta que su voz es como un rayo que ha cubierto llanos y montañas. Hace 200 años que Caracas lo alumbró y América Latina hoy lo reclama. Alerta, 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 alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Alerta que es tu pueblo que hoy camina, iluminando todo con sonrisas, que trae el corazón armado con la libertad. Alerta que ya viene la victoria. Last time. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Alerta, alerta, alerta que camina la espada de Bolívar por América Latina. Por América Latina. So I want to sing a song for the student protesters who rose up all over this country in the spring of 2024. And they were calling for an end to the genocide in Gaza, and more specifically, they were calling on their universities and colleges to divest themselves from this intricate interplay with the military-industrial complex that enables Israel's genocide in Gaza. And they set up camps all over their campuses, and they bore moral witness that needed to be seen. They made clear what was unclear in so much of the American public imagination, and they really changed the discourse of the Israel's genocidal conduct in Palestine. It's called Shut Down the System Now. Here we go. I came here for school so I could be an engineer. Shut down the system now. They want to use me as a tool, designing high-tech weapons gear. Shut down the system now. I want to use my brains for pursuits that bring me pride. Shut down the system now. Not making fighter planes for the Gaza genocide. Shut down the system now. Shut down the system now. Shut down the system now. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. Let's learn that part. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Hey, raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. So I launched a new career and claimed a politics degree. Shut down the system now. But my professors tried to steer me to the U.S. Embassy. Shut down the system now. Where the policy is made so Uncle Sam can be on top. Shut down the system now. Even if when we invade over 1 million bodies drop. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Shut down the system now. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. So I gave it one more try and earned a master's in PR. Shut down the system now. And I learned a reason why campus debates are so bizarre. Shut down the system now. When students won't be swayed by Zionist cliches. Shut down the system now. There comes a Hasbara brigade to set their young careers ablaze. Shut down the system now. I poured myself into courses my professors set for me, which left my deeper purpose starved of wisdom. The Board of Trustees enforces the ideology of the American imperialist system. As my disenchantment grew with my university, shut down the system now. I realized it was true, I am much more than my degree. Shut down the system now. For I've learned to stand up for the oppressed in my own rights. Shut down the system now. Standing in the way of war in the campus square each night. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system. Come out and shut it down. Shut down the system. Shut it down for Palestine. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system. Shut down the system. Shut down the system now. Well, thank you all so much for singing along. We'll do another parody song. Hank Williams, Your Cheatin' Heart. It's called My Nursing Heart. I sing this oftentimes for nurses' unions when they go on strike. I was just not too long ago down in New York City for this historic nurses' strike, 15,000 nurses on strike around the city of New York. And got to sing on the picket line at like 8 or 9 different hospital sites. It was really cool, both in January and February. And they did resolve the contract. As when you show that level of worker power, there's got to be some kind of compromise. But it really speaks to a deeper crisis in healthcare in our whole society. And I think that so much of what's wrong with healthcare in this society can be really illuminated through the perspective of nurses. So it's called My Nursing Heart. My nursing heart cannot be free in a cold-hearted industry. deliver care unto the ill. If someone's there to pay the bill, when people die 'cause no one pays, I don't know why this system stays. These CEOs make my arrhythmia start, defibrillate my nursing heart. My nursing heart must now forego some extra perks I used to know, like time for lunch and sleep at night. My nursing heart wants workers' rights. The company's greed just makes things worse. They want more speed from every nurse. Each time I see these indignities, my nursing heart throws PVCs. And for those who don't know what a PVC is, that's a premature ventricular contraction. I think the boss will be surprised when he finds out we're organized, when our demands get ratified. Our nursing hearts will beat with pride. Our nursing hearts will beat with pride. Well, this song is called The American Idolization of Song. You all know the show, American Idol, right? Yeah, it's kind of a flashy show that's all about the flashiest vocalist, you know. But that culture of participatory singing has taken some hits, I would say, in the last 50 years or so. It's concerning. And it's just interesting, you know, whether you're talking about like kind of a normie kind of place or even a lefty kind of space. What are we doing? You know, it's one thing to make a political critique of something. It's a different thing to make a cultural critique, although sometimes you do both at the same time. But I think that the cultural critique we got to be working out here is like, how are we bringing the culture into all the organizing that we're doing? I think it's really important. So it's got a sing-along part. Here it goes. In America and now in many countries on this earth, judges issue televised decrees on what a song is worth. Contestants seek fame, producers seek ratings, but no one sings along. That's the creed of the American Idolization of Song. Were you waiting for the queen and king of song to be crowned? Were you sedated or too cool to sing when the chorus came around? Has a strange idolatry placed a strain on our voices to train them to cower? 'Cause when we sing with purpose together, the idols lose their power. Something in the music has gone so very wrong. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Rejoice at the sound of a person singing. If you feel the inspiration, that voice really wants the open heart you're bringing, not your adulation. Look behind the glamour of the contest scheme. There's a regime that sets the judging panel. Its narrow vision and commercial interests fill almost every channel. Something in the culture has gone so very wrong. Here it comes. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. A song is filling up the public square. Tyrants beware, this force multiplier for song can help to change the course of history by lifting a million voices higher. Something in our voices says all of us are strong. Let's be strong. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. How long had people sung words of meaning before they had TV? When they sang songs, do you think that they were dreaming about how famous they could be? Every language, generation, and style, it's worthwhile to sing with feeling, for song links us to the essence of what makes us human beings. I hear harmony and beauty in that world where I belong. That turned away, turned away, turned away. Turned away from the American idolization of song. Let's turn towards each other, my sisters and brothers, and let's sing another. Turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. So, I've got two sets. This next song was the final song in the first set, so I thought we'd take a little break. And Dean, how many people are on Zoom right now? I want to say hello to the Zoom people as well. Thank you for joining us on Zoom. 4 or 5. I want to thank the people who are live with us on Zoom. I want to thank, I know some of them are my family members. What's that? Oh, we can check that as well. That'll be fun. And thanks to the Community Church of Boston for hosting this event and taking care of the live stream. This is great to be here, and what a precious thing for the city of Boston that this space exists to host all kinds of discussions, presentations, and performances. Thank you, Dean. All right, so this, how many of you got a Charlie card in your pocket? Yeah? I bet most of you do. You may or may not know the song 11 on Zoom. Wonderful. Great to have all 11 of you. Thank you. The Charlie card is a very important thing for the city of Boston. And it's based on a song called Charlie on the MTA, right? You know this story? So the original Charlie on the MTA was, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. She may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. So that song was written in the context of the Progressive Party mayoral race in the city of Boston in 1948. They had a progressive candidate, and one of the issues at the time was the subway fare. And if you follow the narrative of the original song, you realize that the reason Charlie never returned home is that he got stuck on the subway, right? The way it used to work back then, nowadays it doesn't work the same way anymore, but they would raise the fare in a most peculiar way, but this was true of the technology of the 1940s. So it used to be that you'd have a kiosk on your way into the subway. That would cost you a dime, right? And then the city said, we need to charge the people more money, but instead of replacing that first kiosk, what they did is they added a second kiosk on the way out. So they said 10 cents on the way in, 5 cents on the way out. You mean, nowadays you just like hike the fare digitally, like they just plug it into the computer and you're screwed, right? But this was the way they screwed people over back then. But they needed physical infrastructure. But that's what the song was about. It was like poor old Charlie, the hapless working class hero, gets stuck on the train because he doesn't have that extra nickel that he needs to get off the train. Well, anyway, this is called Nancy on the med-surg floor. It's about another working class hero getting stuck, but this time in a hospital. Here we go. Well, let me tell you of the story of a nurse named Nancy and the way that she's been ignored. She grabbed her stethoscope and scrubs, kissed her husband, and family went to work on the med-surg floor. But did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Let's try that together. Did she ever return? No, she never returned. Did she ever return? No, she never returned. And her fate is still unlearned. What a pity. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. Let's do that. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Nancy worked all night from 7 to 7, never letting her attention drift. Then the morning sun deceived her. There was no one to relieve her. Nancy couldn't get off her shift. But did she ever return? No, she never returned. And her fate is still unlearned. Poor old Nancy, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Nancy worked all day giving medicines and comfort, but she never could get a break. She took care of 7 patients who had many complications and somehow had to stay awake. But did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Nancy told her boss, hey, we need more nurses to care for the patients here. He said, we think the pace is fine, so long as profits pass the baseline of $400 million last year. Does she read tax returns? Yes, she reads their returns. And she's seen the profits they earn. Shame and scandal, though her boss would never treat her fair. She fought him, she's a nurse who reads tax returns. Now you hard-working nurses, don't you think it's a scandal that the bosses gotta be so cheap? Stay with our picket line till our contract has been signed, so Nancy can go home and sleep. or else she'll never return. No, she'll never return, and her fate will be unlearned. Like poor old Charlie, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. One more time. Did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. She's the nurse who never returned. Thank you. All right, let's take like a 5-minute break or something, and we'll come back. It's so good to see all of you. Thanks for coming. So you're back for the second set. Awesome. Okay. So this song actually was written by Bill Steele back in the early 70s or so, called Garbage. And it was Pete Seeger, really, who turned the song into more of a song that a lot of people knew about. So it's gone through the folk process, and I've been part of that here as well. So like the song was written actually at a time when certain words that I've put into the song didn't even exist yet. So, you know, 'cause this is more of a coming out of the early environmental movement. So it's called Garbage. Mr. Thompson calls the waiter, orders steak and baked potato. He leaves the bone and gristle and he never eats the skins. The busboy comes and takes it with a cough, contaminates it, and puts it in a can with coffee grounds and sardine tins. A truck comes by on Friday and hauls it all away. 1,000 trucks just like it hit the landfill every day. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're filling up the land with garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. That's your part. What will we do when there's no place left to put all the garbage? Garbage, garbage, garbage. Mr. Thompson starts his Cadillac and winds it down the freeway track, leaving friends and neighbors in a hydrocarbon haze. He's joined by lots of smaller cars, all sending gases to the stars. There they form a seething cloud that hangs for 30 days. And the sun licks down into it with its ultraviolet tongues, turns it into smog, and then it settles in our lungs. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're filling up the sky with garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. What will we do when there's nothing left to breathe but garbage? Garbage, garbage, garbage. He travels through the countryside where fields of corn span far and wide. The cells of every plant exude Monsanto's pesticide. Extractions from the seed supply hydrogenated oils to fry the meals at the nursing home where Grandma just died. Mr. Thompson scarfs a Big Mac after choosing her gravestone as his arteries clog up and his heart loses muscle tone. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're filling up our bodies with garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. What will we do when there's nothing left to eat but garbage? Garbage, garbage, garbage. Getting home and taking off his shoes, he switches on the cable news. The kids all have their iPads and Netflix in one ear. Every screen shows brutalities and alternate realities when suddenly a tweet storm from the president appears. Their social feeds explode. The world fills with dread. And every comment references the nonsense he just said. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're filling up our minds with garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. What will we do when there's nothing left to listen to? Nothing left to scroll down through, nothing left to talk about, nothing left to care about, nothing left to see, and nothing left to be but garbage, 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 garbage. Mr. Thompson hits the Apple Store after searching Google for the latest iPhone features to feel trendy and self-made. The parts use rare earth elements from countries where regiments maintain supply lines with checkpoints and brutal raids. Hungry orphans cry in fear in the town next to the mine, and Apple CEOs sail yachts while drinking vintage wine. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're treating other countries like garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. What will we do when this system falls apart and there's no principles or heart? Our kids will read in history books about CEOs and other crooks, and feudalism and slavery and nukes and all their knavery. To history's dustbin they're consigned along with all the other kinds of garbage. Thank you. Do a song by myself. It's called No More Sacrifice Zones. And Chris Hedges wrote a book in 2012 called Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. And in the book, he goes around the United States with his co-authors, actually an illustrator, Joe Sacco, writing about what they call in the book sacrifice zones. Places of geographic specificity that have had the labor extracted from it, the resources extracted from the land, and then the people who provide that labor are neglected. The land that provides those resources is despoiled, all for the accumulation of profit. And there's a way in which capitalism just needs these kinds of places. But also, you know, sometimes a place gets destroyed and sacrificed, and it doesn't always have that kind of economic logic so clear. But it's just like I see Gaza in this way. You know, it's like the genocide of the people in that territory indicates a system that sees certain people's lives anyway, as just completely disposable. And that's a logic that plays throughout this whole system that we live in. And, you know, I don't know, people say they get depressed. I don't get depressed talking about just how terrible the system is. It gives me life, actually. You know, like, I feel energized talking about it. Like, I just want to claim that, you know. It's some people are like, oh, that's really getting us down. Well, if you look at it in the right way, there's actually something hopeful there, to be able to engage, I think, in a serious way with our world. So it's got a sing-along part. Surprise, surprise, here it goes. The army closed you in as they drove you from the plains. They're turning your homeland to a sacrifice zone. The company took the uranium, just the fallout remains. They're turning your sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. Pine Ridge, you are not alone. Sing with me. Pine Ridge, you are not alone. Pine Ridge, you are not alone. Your homeland has been desecrated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The state makes voting obsolete through emergency decrees. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone. The cops occupy your street to bring you to your knees. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. We will make it known. Ferguson, you are not alone. Ferguson, you are not alone. Your city has been subjugated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The coalmen blew the mountain, killing everything nearby. They're turning your region to a sacrifice zone. As their profits grew, the governor just let your people die. They're turning your region to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. We will make it known. Appalachia, Appalachia, you are not alone. Your region has been desolated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The rubble made your children drown right where they used to play. They're turning your nation to a sacrifice zone. The bomb that brought the building down came from the USA. They're turning your nation to a sacrifice zone. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. We will make it known. Palestine, Palestine, you are not alone. Your nation has been decimated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. Pine Ridge, Ferguson, Appalachia, Yemen, Immokalee, Flint, Michigan, Northern Alberta and Camden, Standing Rock, Navajo, Palestine, and Puerto Rico. We stand with you. You are not alone. Your lands and lives were sacrificed. The next will be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. do this song. The song's written in 1965 by Phil Ochs, called Love Me, I'm a Liberal. I've updated the song for today. I admired the young Greta Thunberg when she spoke up for new climate laws, when she poured out her passion at Davos, and when she won Obama's applause. But why must she talk about Palestine? Such distractions are hurting the cause. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I attend diversity trainings, and I leave feeling so reassured. I love Oprah and Magic and Foreman. It's great to see blacks become entrepreneurs. But don't go and vote third party. That's not the way to be heard. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I cheered when Kamala was chosen, my faith in the system restored. And I'll never forgive Ralph Nader for the election he stole from Al Gore. And my neighborhood welcomes all races of people with high credit scores. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Voters need more education to achieve democracy's aims. Our enemies spread memes in their news feeds, sowing division and national shame. But if you want socialized healthcare, you really must be insane. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I listen to All Things Considered. I'd consider anyone's views. You know, I've read D'Angelo and Kendi, and I'm probably more woke than you. But when it comes to the arming of Israel, there's no one who's more white and blue. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I vote for the Democratic Party. They're strengthening NATO command. I support Bono's benefit concerts, and I buy what he plugs for his brand. We're gonna save our democracy, posting selfies of taking a stand. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Sure, once I was young and impulsive, I wore every conceivable pin. I fought for a socialist future, which I actually thought we might win. But I've grown older and wiser, and that's why I'm turning you in. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I'm going to just switch. I actually need a volunteer to hold up a little sign because we got the chorus of the next song on this here piece of plastic. Would someone be willing to come up here and hold that white sign? Ah, thank you, Sarah. Okay. Sarah Hoffman, everybody. Yeah, So it's called Come Out You Coward's Ice, and as I'm retuning the guitar, because this will take a little bit of retuning, I'll tell you a little bit about this. Yeah. And what we can do is when it's the chorus time, you can just lift it at that point, and then you can like relax your arms during the verses and stuff. But yeah, so when I'm from South Minneapolis originally, I grew up there for the first 19 years of my life. I've been on the East Coast since 2003. Came to school in Vermont in 2000. No wait, I came to school in Vermont in 2001. Excuse me. Came to Western Massachusetts in 2003. But I kind of got a start in the activist community there in Minneapolis, especially peace and justice, anti-war organizing. I got involved with a group called Voices in the Wilderness. That was Kathy Kelly's operation. Many delegations to Iraq. I was on the 30th delegation in December 1999. So that was like my early beginnings, in Minneapolis. Very rich activist community. It's all changed, of course, since I left back so many years ago. But
so was your college?
Well, we're going to get to Hampshire College, actually. Yeah, I'll get to Hampshire College. But when I heard about just the brutal repression going on in my hometown, I was looking for a song about it, and sure enough, Carsey Blanton, this fantastic singer-songwriter that you should definitely check out, had posted to Facebook the first two verses of the song I'm about to sing to you. She had just, it was very timely. It was like we needed that right when she posted it. And then Sophie Schleicher wrote another verse, and I was like, oh, that's a good one. And then I wrote the last two. So folk process. But the original song is Come Out You Black and Tans. That was a song written in the 1960s by Dominic Behan. And it was, typical Irish nationalist bravado. Come out, you black and tans. Come out and fight me like a man. It was, it's sung at certain pubs. Other pubs, if you sing this song, you get the shit beat out of you. Actually, I had an Irish person tell me that. Like, you don't just go around singing that song willy-nilly. Especially like London, but also certain neighborhoods in Northern Ireland. But the Black and Tans were a paramilitary force recruited by the British Empire to mete out intimidation, sadism, and all manner of indignities against the Irish population. In the 1920s, there was a war against the British occupiers of Ireland, and the paramilitary force deployed against the resistance in Ireland was called the Black and Tans. So I felt this was such a great tradition to think about this song. The original song by Dominic Behan, Come Out You Black and Tans, has a verse in it about the violence that the British Empire meted out in the colonies. Like, come tell us how you slew those Arabs 2 by 2. How you killed the Zulus who faced you with a bow and arrow and you shot them down with a machine gun was basically the idea of the verse. So, it was very much about like calling out the cowardice of these stooges of imperial rule. And I think that's how I see ICE. It's imperial rule in its moment of inevitable demise, in its moment of decline, when the state has nothing really to offer to the people of substance other than to rule by violence. And I think that when the state can't provide for the basics, can't provide housing at an affordable rate, can't provide access to quality education or health care, for Christ's sake, it can't really rule with the consent of the governed. And if you look at it in its totality, I think ICE is about doing something very similar to what the Black and Tans were doing. And it goes like this. I live here on a Powderhorn Street, where ICE agents walk the beat, with a signing bonus $50,000 when we saw those vicious goons steal our neighbors from their rooms, we went out into the streets and yelled and hollered, "Come out, you cowards, ice! Peel away your grim disguise. Tell your wife how you take orders from the fascists, and how the city you betray made you run like hell away from the white and snowy streets of Minneapolis." Won't you tell her how you stood in the way of Renee Good? How she tried to leave, but you were too afraid of her. How she did just what you said, so you shot her in the head for the crime of standing up for her own neighbors. Come out, you cowards, ice! Peel away your grim disguise. Tell your wife how you take orders from the fascists, and how the city you betray made you run like hell away from the white and snowy streets of Minneapolis. I bet you felt so big and strong when Nurse Pretty came along, and he tried to shield a woman you were beating. 6 agents held him down, and you shot him on the ground and stood around to watch him as he lay there bleeding. Come out, you cowards, ice! Peel away your grim disguise. Tell your wife how you take orders from the fascists, and how the city you betray made you run like hell away from the white and snowy streets of Minneapolis. Your brutal iron hand serves the very same command that rained its bombs upon Iran in brute aggression, lit the Middle East aflame, fed the fire till it became so unrestrained it's sparking worldwide depression. Come, let us hear you tell how you serve our country well, starting wars and locking families in cages. Do you think your every mess can be turned into success once you repress the ones your cruelty enrages? Come out, you cowards, ice! Peel away your grim disguise. Tell your wife how you take orders from the fascists, and how the city you betray made you run like hell away from the white and snowy streets of Minneapolis. From the white and snowy streets of Minneapolis. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, now we'll do a very different kind of song. Whew. This is a song that I've written over the course of many different blizzard events. It's called When I Feel Most Free. I love a blizzard. Things are different in a blizzard. Very different. I mean, I guess a lot of the songs tonight are kind of like about, what I don't like about kind of normal, like society, in a way. But this is a blizzard is a great thing because it just mixes it all up. It really, really does. You know? It goes like this. When the blizzard comes is when I feel most free. There's nowhere I can get to. My time belongs to me. Roaring wind takes over the bustle of the day. The blizzard grants me freedoms the melting takes away. Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? Let me teach you that. Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt? When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? Snow drifts on the pavement are blocking my commute. There's no tracks of cars, just the tracks of paws and boots. Neighbors greet me and I don't worry where I have to be. Everything is closed today. I am feeling free. Snow fell on my city, brought it to a crawl. Brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? The storm glazed my town with an icy crystal sheet. The power lines went down, knocking out the lights and heat. I never asked for help from my neighbors before this storm came. Something melted in my heart when I finally learned their names. Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? Sprawling fleets of trucks are spreading salt around, pushing snow aside, forming giant mounds. Now it's back to work and to the status quo. I just wanna keep the freedoms I found while stranded in the snow. Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? Snow fell on my city and brought it to a crawl. When it melts, will I remember how I felt in the great snowfall? How I felt in the great snowfall. Cool. So I just want to say, I commandeered one of the Community Church of Boston mailing list sign-up sheets, and I renamed it Ben Grosscup's Music List. I guess I'm going to pass this around, and the reason I'm asking you to jot down your email address is that, as I said earlier in the show, I am creating a a recording, like a properly recorded. I mean, you can always check me out on YouTube, of course, but it's different to really focus the recording process and all the production. And so I'm very excited to get this out to the world, and would love your help, as an independent musician, like trying to get this stuff out. It's an uphill process, and I just want to thank so many of you who spread the word about this show and help. Like, how many of you heard from someone else here in the room that, yeah, thank you, that's great. So thank you for putting the word out there. Yeah, and this is one of those songs I really want to get out, along with all the other ones. I'll be releasing it the way everybody else does, CD Baby, Spotify, blah, 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 all the, Apple Music, all the corporate streaming platforms that, put the music out there. It's kind of what you got to do. But there will be ways to help. And you being here tonight has been such a big help as well. Thank you. Okay, here we go. We are 7 billion people. We all have hopes and dreams. Most of us live under a capitalist regime where some can make a killing and others just get killed. But we don't have to live like this. There's an alternative to build. Let's build a socialist system. Make the dream come alive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Let's socialize the profits to help the people thrive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Let's learn the chorus. Let's build a socialist system. Let's build a socialist system. Make the dream come alive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Socialize the profits. Let's socialize the profits to help the people thrive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. 7 billion people. How can we all succeed? Not by competition for the basic things we need. Not by exploitation of our dwindling natural wealth. We need a system that promotes cooperation and help. Let's build a socialist system. Make the dream come alive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Socialize, let's socialize the profits to help the people thrive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Socialism means institutions based on care for everybody living and for the planet that we share. Confronting every oppression in the places where they live. Ensuring justice in the ways that people take and people give. The dream of socialism is rooted in the heart. And taking political power is an essential part. The rich will surely fight to maintain the wealth they stole. So we're gonna need a party to reach the socialist goal. Let's build a socialist system. Make the dream come alive. We We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Let's socialize the profits to help the people thrive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Let's build a socialist system. Make the dream come alive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. Let's socialize the profits to help the people thrive. We need a socialist system for the people to survive. For the people to survive. Well, I want to recognize my good friend and comrade, Amna, who's here. Thank you so much for coming. Amna and I met in college. We met at Hampshire College. And there's very sad news from this week that Hampshire College closed. Now, you know, is closing, and it's a process to close a big institution like that. But you know, we had a group, a Free Palestine group there at Hampshire College. I was in another group as well, you know, Students for the Freedom to Unionize. So we had all kinds of criticisms, don't get me wrong, about our college administration. And I, for one, don't always participate in that sort of like romanticizing Hampshire College. It was very much an institution that operates within the regular kind of capitalist framework. That being said, there's no doubt about it that like that was an institution that encouraged some free thought as well. That did happen there. And I feel a sense of pain and grief in my heart seeing yet another institution that shaped me profoundly when I was a young person kind of either fall apart or, you know, in other instances we could talk about becoming kind of a hollow shell of its older self. So there really is something sad about the demise of liberal arts education. But then we also have to think about, gosh, what did we have with liberal arts education? If we're moving out of a phase as a society that like had the idea that like we take our young people and we give them a broad-based understanding of the world, we teach them about the humanities. They got to take at least one science course. You know? I think that was hard for me, but I did it. But what because what we have today is the student debt crisis, you know, and this is true. Like if you owe your student loans to Hampshire College, I mean, just Hampshire College closing down doesn't mean you don't still owe that money, you know. And we have a major problem. So what do we do as songwriters? We look to another song about debt. So the original was by Tennessee Ernie Ford, and it was called 16 Tons. It went like, you load 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Well, the company store was the place where you went to get your food when you were a worker working in the mine. Some things change, you know, and others stay the same. Back then, you know, they had scrip to pay for the things at the grocery store. That was part of how it worked. It wasn't just the money economy, it was kind of an enclosed little economy run by the coal company. Some people say you gotta get a degree, then comes the time you pay the fee. Well, I couldn't believe how my balance had grown since the day I signed my student loan. You go to 4 years of college, and what do you get? another diploma and a mountain of debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I must stay. I owe my soul to Sally Mae. You go to 4 years of college and what do you get? You go to 4 years of college and what do you, another diploma and a mountain of debt. St. Peter, don't you call, I must stay. I owe my soul to Sally Mae. I borrowed for school so I could get smart. I studied my books and did my part. I took a full load of English and history. Then I got a job serving coffee and tea. You go to 4 years of college, and what do you get? Another diploma and a mountain of debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I must stay. I owe my soul to Sally Mae. The collector keeps calling, saying I better pay. However I try, there ain't no way. The bills they send must be a joke. If I paid each one, I'd be dead broke. You go to 4 years of college, and what do you get? Another diploma and a mountain of debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I must stay. I owe my soul to Sally Mae. $45 million people today owe trillions in debt. The creditors say that growing tab can never be paid. So don't give in and don't be afraid. Stand up for your rights, and what can you get? Free education means cancel the debt. The rich don't want it, but the people agree to make higher education universal and free. Make higher education universal and free. Well, it's about, thank you all for coming out here and singing along so enthusiastically. It's 9:21. I thought I would do one final song. How'd that be? So it is a song by Woody Guthrie. But when Woody Guthrie sang this song, my gosh, it sounded real, real different. It's called Harriet Tubman's Ballad. And the melody that you're going to hear mostly comes from my friend Ethan Miller. Wonderful songwriter up in Maine, who kind of isn't doing as much songwriting. He's more doing like left-wing economic research and organizing. Stuff in the solidarity economy. But the story of Harriet Tubman is really what this is about. And she was enlisted by the Union Army in that war called the Civil War. What did Du Bois call it? The rebellion. I'm going to mess this up. The class war. He saw it kind of through that perspective, that the enslaved Africans were in a sense rising up. And Harriet Tubman was a key in that component of the military struggle, in that she was she proved herself early in life able to traverse the world of the Confederacy, escaping from slavery and so forth. But the Union Army needed someone like her to be able to recruit the enslaved Africans on the plantation to then pick up a weapon and be enlisted into the army. It's interesting, if you think about the long arc of American history, I don't know if this, you could make an argument, but really, when particularly under conditions of slavery, when you think about the difference between being enslaved and being conscripted is full of so much more dignity than the alternative. And that's what the idea of picking up the gun meant in this kind of context that we're singing about here. Here it goes, Harriet Tubman's Ballad. I was 5 years old in Bucktown, Maryland, when into slavery I was sent. I will tell you of the beatings and the fighting in my 93 years I spent. I helped a slave hand make a run for freedom when my 15th year come rolling round. The guard, he caught him in a little store in a little slavery village town. The boss made a grab to catch the field hand. I jumped in and blocked the door. The boss, he hit me with a 2-pound scale iron, and I went black down on the floor. On a bundle of rags in our log cabin, my mother, she ministered my needs. It was there I swore I'd give my lifeblood just to turn my people free. It was there I swore I'd give my lifeblood just to turn my people free. In 44 I married John Tubman. I loved him well till 49. But he would not come and fight beside me, so I left him there behind. I left Bucktown with my 2 brothers, but they got scared and come back home. I followed my northern star of freedom. I walked the grass and trees alone. I followed my northern star of freedom. I walked the grass and trees alone. I slept in barn lofts and in haystacks. I slept with my people in slavery shacks. They said I'd die by the boss man's bullets. I said I'm never turning back. Then bright on one early morning, I came to my free state line. I pinched myself to see if I was dreaming. Freedom right before my eyes. I pinched myself to see if I was dreaming. Freedom right before my eyes. I went back down south to get my parents, loaded them in a buckboard hack. We crossed 6 states and other slaves followed. Up to Canada we made our tracks. One slave got scared and tried to turn backwards. I pulled my pistol right in front of his eyes. I said, get up and walk to your own freedom, or by this fireball you will die. I said, get up and walk to your own freedom, or by this fireball you will die. When John Brown hit them at Harper's Ferry, my men was fighting right by his side. When John Brown swung on the gallows pole, it was then I hung my head and cried. Give the black man guns and give him powder. To old Abe Lincoln, this I said. You've just crippled the snake of slavery. We've got to fight to kill it dead. You've just crippled the snake of slavery. We've got to fight to kill it dead. We have faced the bullets' lightning. Thunders broke us from our sleep. We have waited in bloody rainstorms, broken bodies that we reaped. Though we faced the zigzag lightning, it was worth the price we paid. When our thunder had rumbled over, we had laid slavery in its grave. When our thunder had rumbled over, we had laid slavery in its grave. Come now and gather round my deathbed. Sing to me a freedom song. I'm going now to meet my maker. My 93 years are gone. Come now and gather round my children. Listen to me, my dear ones. Don't you dare go thinking that I'm something special and that you couldn't do just what I've done. Don't you dare go thinking that I'm something special and that you couldn't do just what I've done.